Okay, so example number 2 from the notes says find the length and width of a rectangle that has a perimeter of 80 meters and a maximum area. Okay, so we're talking about length and width. Okay, now what are we trying to maximize? Well, we're trying to maximize the area of a rectangle. What is the area of a rectangle? That is length times width. Okay, now what is limiting my area? Why can't my area be as big as possible? Well, what's limiting my area is my perimeter. My perimeter has only 80 meters. So my perimeter is equal to 80. Well, what's the equation for the perimeter of a rectangle? That's 2L plus 2W. Okay? So my primary equation is my area equation, and my limiting or my secondary equation is my perimeter. That's what's limiting it. Okay? Now, there's a couple ways of doing this. Some people like using everything in terms of x's and y's. Okay? Is going to be totally up to you. I could say that basically that w, we could say w is x, and we can get it in terms of x, but I'm not going to go that far this time. I'm just going to keep it in terms of L and W. Okay? So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve this equation for either length or width, and I'm going to solve it for my length. So I'm going to get 80 minus 2W equals 2L, like that. And that means my length is equal to 40 minus W. Okay, because you divide everything by 2. So now that means my area, since my length is 40 minus W times my width, now my equation's all in terms of one variable. At the beginning I could have said length is y and W is x. That still would have come over here and given me y equals 40 minus x, which is the same thing, and this would have been y times x. It wouldn't have mattered. Okay? It just depends on how you like to look at it. Now, I'm trying to maximize my area. So how do we find the maximums? Well, we have to take the derivative. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did in the last one. I'm going to simplify, so I'm going to multiply by Wn, so I get 40W minus W squared. Then I can take the derivative, so area prime is 40 minus 2W, set it equal to 0. We get 40 equals 2W, so W equals 20. Okay, so my width is 20 meters. Now I'm going to use this equation. So 40 minus 20 equals 20. So my length is also 20. So 20 meters. So my dimensions are 20 by 20. Which makes sense because most of the time squares maximize area. Okay, versus rectangles. Okay? And technically, yes, a square is a rectangle. It's just a perfect rectangle.